What do we have here? CM Punk causing more backstage politics, causing more backstage drama in AEW? Oh wow! I should be surprised. Except that I'm not. Because it seems like this son of a bitch, that's all he wants to do in AEW. That's all he's been doing since he walked into the company day fucking one. Hello everyone, Edrunner Gaming HD. Welcome to another discussion video here on the channel. And this is one pertaining to a topic that I barely even talk about here on my channel. And I said I wouldn't be doing any modern day professional wrestling videos here on my channel. But I just had to come on and give my 2 cents about this whole situation because, man, oh fucking man. CM Punk, Phil Brooks, Jack Perry, you two just could not, you could not pick a better time to have an altercation than at the biggest show in the history of AEW since they started back in 2019. So apparently last Sunday, AEW had some big pay-per-view over in the UK in London at Wembley Stadium. They sold out like 80,000 people in the stadium. They set a record for the largest crowd ever to attend a professional wrestling event from any major company in the history of Wembley Stadium, in the history of the United Kingdom. Cool, good for them, I guess. I didn't fucking watch a single second of this because I don't really watch this shit anymore. There's only 2 channels I watch that pertain to professional wrestling that talk about it every now and again, and that's TWRP, Technical Work Rate Production, and of course OTRS Central. Both of them have done videos talking about this situation that happened backstage with Jack Perry and CM Punk. Supposedly, this all started over something that happened a few months ago where Jack Perry wanted to take a spot through actual real glass. And apparently Phil Brooks went up to him backstage and said, hey, that's not a very good idea. You're going to end up seriously injuring yourself, you know, using real glass. I advise you to use fake glass. And it wasn't just Phil that came up to Jack Perry and said this. A lot of people backstage, even Tony Khan himself went up to Jack Perry and said, it's not a good idea for you to use real glass in a glass spot in the company. But Jack Perry obviously whine, cry, bitch, moan, and groan about it till he got what he wanted, and he got a real glass spot. And he took some sort of like bump on the pre-show of the pay-per-view on real glass on a windshield on a car. And afterwards, he pulled the cameraman to the side with him, went up to the windshield, hit it with his hand, and said, real glass, go cry me a river.
You know what this is right here? And then crushing.
Real glass.
Crushing the
Go
abdomen.
cry me a river.
Basically taking a shot not only at CM Punk, but to everybody that told him not to do the spot. Because, newsflash, you fucking idiot, that's something that could actually seriously injure you. Do I need to remind you of when Bill Goldberg had that infamous limo spot back in, what was it, like late 99, early 2000, where he tried to use the pipe to smash up the glass window and he couldn't do it, so he decided to use his arms like a fucking idiot? And guess what happened? He ended up cutting so deep into his arm, he ended up cutting his blood vessel so freaking deep that he almost bled to death. And he had to go away for months on end and didn't come back until like the summer of 2000. And not just Goldberg, there's been a whole bunch of like infamous glass spots in the wrestling industry involving real glass where people have actually gotten seriously fucking hurt. They were advising you for your safety to use fake glass, and you didn't fucking do it. Because you thought you were Big Billy Badass. You thought, hey, you know, if I take a spot through real glass, I'll be okay. I won't get hurt. Luckily for you, you didn't get hurt here. So I'm guessing the wrestling gods were on your side this time. But you still, even though you didn't get injured, the wrestling gods still punished you regardless. What happened afterwards? Before CM Punk comes out for his match with Samoa Joe, which apparently I believe was the first match on the card, you and CM Punk have a backstage altercation, punches were thrown, a headlock was put on, cameras were thrown all around, right in front of the fucking boss, the owner of the company himself, Tony Khan. And Tony Khan just sitting there, not doing a damn thing about it, while two men on his roster are beating the shit out of each other backstage. CM Punk reportedly threatened to walk out on the company, threatened to quit the company, threatened to not even go out and have his match with Samoa Joe, and Joe had to basically get in between them to separate the fight, and Joe basically kind of in a way forced CM Punk to go out there and do the match. And I didn't see a single second of the match. I don't care to. I heard CM Punk won, whatever, whoopee freaking do. But after the match, when CM Punk went backstage, this son of a bitch, this egotistical asshole, was so fucking scared of Jack Perry, he had to hire security to lead him back to his locker room. Because he didn't want another physical altercation. One that you started. You're the one that went up to Jack Perry backstage. You started the conversation. You started the altercation. Both of you are to blame. Both of you. For Jack Perry, who the fuck are you in the wrestling industry? Real talk. Who the fuck are you in the professional wrestling industry? You would not be here right now if it wasn't for your daddy being famous. If your dad wasn't a famous person, you would not have a spot in AEW. If you had a spot in wrestling at all, you'd probably be down in fucking PWG or something somewhere out in California. Or you'd be wrestling out in the fucking boonies somewhere. You would be a complete no-name. If they were to fire you tomorrow, people would talk about it for a day and then move on like nothing ever happened. And as for you, CM Punk, Phil Brooks, you are, in my opinion, the biggest headache to ever grace the locker room in the history of AEW since they opened their doors. There is a reason why Cody Rhodes left the company just a few months after you came in and went back to WWE. Remember the quote that Cody Rhodes made about he set the table, now he's not going to do anything else? He set the table, he knows his place, and he's not getting involved anymore? Because he knew the shitstorm that was on the way. He knew that this guy, Phil Brooks, was going to be the biggest headache in the history of the company. And he didn't want to be around CM Punk because they probably would have gotten into a physical altercation backstage. So Cody basically took his ball and went back to WWE. Do you blame him? If I was in this situation, I would have done the exact same thing. I'm not going to share a locker room with this fucking headache. I'm not going to share a locker room with this fucking cancer, this disease of professional wrestling. Let me ask all of you something, a serious question. Let me ask all of you a serious question. What good has CM Punk done outside of the matches? What good has he done backstage, working in the company since coming in? Oh, you could say his feud with MJF. Okay, he kind of fucking buried MJF in that feud, let's be perfectly honest. From what I saw, he kind of buried him in that feud. Every damn time he got the world title, he always ended up getting hurt. The first time he won the world title, he jumped into the crowd like the very next night after he won it or something. Either it was the next night or... It was either the next night or the following Wednesday. I think they had a pay-per-view on Sunday and he came out. Yeah, okay, I remember it now. They had a pay-per-view on Sunday. He came out on Wednesday because obviously Dynamite is on Wednesday night. And he jumped into the crowd and twisted his foot. Went out of action for a few months. Had to drop the belt. The second time he wins the world title, of course, was last year at All Out, where he had that infamous media scrum backstage with Tony Khan. You know, the press conference where he basically went off on the Elite, said they couldn't manage a target, blah, 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 blah. And they had that whole altercation in the locker room to where he injured himself yet again and had to forfeit the world title. Even though he didn't want to. This son of a bitch actually wanted to still be the world champion while he was on the shelf. While he was injured, he still wanted to be the world champion. He comes back to the company about a few months ago, and this egotistical asshole still thinks that he's the world champion. To the point where he made a second world title and calls himself the real world heavyweight champion. Keep in mind, I had to research all of this stuff just to find out what the hell is going on, because like I said, I don't really keep up with this shit anymore. I don't. I watch a few videos here and there on TWRP and OTRS Central, but I don't watch this shit anymore. The modern day stuff. I don't fucking watch it anymore. I haven't watched AEW, honest to God, since like late 2020. The last time I remember watching anything AEW, like actually sitting down and watching a show, was the infamous night where they had the ring explode. That was the Jon Moxley and Kenny Omega match, which, to be fair, that was the highlight of the night for me. You know, seeing the ring basically, it's like a giant fart. Just like a giant wet fart. I have not laughed at a botch in professional wrestling that hard in a very long time. That made me laugh so freaking hard I thought I was gonna hurl. And honest to God, that's really the last match I ever watched in AEW. And it probably will be the last match I ever watch in AEW, because I have no intention to go back and watch this shit. If I had to pick between which company I would rather watch right now, I would rather watch WWE on a consistent basis than AEW. AEW, I don't know what the fuck's going on over there, but it's like the prisoners are running the damn asylum. You have a promoter, you have a booker in Tony Khan. This dude is probably the biggest pussy to ever run a professional wrestling company I have ever legitimately seen. I mean, when you got a fucking failed UFC washed up fucking meth head in charge of your company, basically telling you what to do, how to run your company, don't punish me or I'll walk out on the company. I'm just sitting here thinking, do you not have a pair of balls between your fucking legs? You're gonna let this fucking washed up has-been from Chicago, this failed UFC / horror movie, D-list horror movie / failed Marvel sketch artist / washed up fucking loser walk right over you? Tony Khan is not in charge of the company. CM Punk is basically in charge of AEW. I mean, for goodness sake, people, Tony Khan literally bent over backwards and gave this egotistical maniac his own fucking show on Saturday night. Gave him his own roster, his own damn show. All this stuff that's happened with CM Punk ever since he came into the company, all the drama, all the backstage politics, all the fighting, all the headaches that this man has caused. And instead of firing him like any other fucking businessman would do, you suspend, the worst thing you've ever done is suspend him for a short amount of time and give him his own fucking wrestling show. Oh, hey, Phil Brooks, you're the biggest headache in the history of my company. Here's your own wrestling show on Saturday night. Yay! CM Punk, isn't he the greatest of all time? Even though he's the reason why a majority of the locker room want to walk out on your fucking company? Never, ever, ever let the prisoners run the asylum. That's what Tony Khan is doing here in this situation. Jack Perry looks stupid, CM Punk looks stupid, and Tony Khan especially looks stupid. The biggest show in the history of your company, and the worst thing you could do to them is a slap on the wrist and suspend them. If I were you, I would grow a pair of fucking balls and look at these two right to their face, eye to eye, and say, you're fired. Get the fuck out. I don't need you here. I don't want you here. I don't want to put up with this shit anymore. Get the fuck out. Yeah, they'll probably sue Tony Khan for breach of contract or something. Good luck with that, by the way. I mean, you're literally suing a billionaire. You're gonna get fucked in court. I mean, unless you get an incompetent judge, you're gonna get completely destroyed in court. So have fun with that, Phil. Have fun with that, Jack. I cannot believe this is the man that's running AEW. What a complete fucking pussy. If I was a professional wrestler and I was looking to join AEW, why the hell would I want to go there in the first? Why the hell would I want to go there anyways? Look at the shit that's going on over there. Oh, they allow more freedom in the locker room. They allow their wrestlers to do a lot more than WWE does. Yeah. Once you've looked past all the fucking headaches and backstage politics and backstage drama that goes on in that company. And of course, that happens in WWE too. But at least with WWE, you got people like Triple H and Vince McMahon that can stomp this shit out. Usually. Although, to be fair, they've let people walk over them too. Oh my god, this whole situation is so fucking stupid. I just wanted to give my 2 cents on it. If you don't like what I gotta say, fuck you. I really don't care. There's a reason why I don't watch AEW, and I don't see myself ever coming back to it. Fuck everyone involved in this situation. Fuck Jack Perry for using real glass and not taking the advice of people in the industry to use fake glass to protect yourself, you fucking idiot. CM Punk, I mean, I've already said what I need to say about this fucking head case. And Tony Khan. Tony. You are the biggest wuss I've ever seen run a professional wrestling company ever. Dixie Carter has more balls than you. And she's a fucking woman. A woman has more balls than you. A woman has more guts and leadership than you. Dixie Carter. Dixie fucking Carter. I'm ending this discussion video here. I don't want to talk anymore about this modern day wrestling bullshit. I'm done. Edgerunner Gaming HD signing out. Peace.
They will find me through the flames, flames that run down through my veins. I will make the city burn. We're not planning to return. Trying so hard to be free, to make you see what I see. Hold on to your wishes if you can't hold on to me. Forgive me for letting you down. Forgive me for letting you down again. I guess I'm not strong enough.